You ever get that feeling where you look at your hands and realize they might be becoming museum pieces? I was reading the news this morning, Alex, and I'm starting to think the next guy I hire isn't going to need a lunch break, just a firmware update.
Oh, here we go. Is this about the robots again? Because the last time you got worried about technology, you tried to convince me that Bluetooth measuring tapes were a government conspiracy.
Look, I like my tools dumb. If I drop a hammer, I want it to hit the floor, not file a workers' comp claim or start calculating the trajectory of its own fall. But Cirrus Automation just put out this new pre-weld inspection system. It's got eyes better than a hawk on a field mouse. It catches a flaw in a pipe before the spark even flies.
That actually sounds incredibly useful. Think of how much scrap you'd save if you didn't spend 3 hours welding a seam that was doomed from the first inch.
That's the rub. It's brilliant. It's like having a tiny perfectionist ghost sitting on your shoulder whispering, "Hey dummy, that gap is 3 microns too wide." And it's not just the software. International Technologies put out this spot welder for geometrically challenged projects. Deep boxes, narrow channels, the kind of spots that usually require you to contort your body like a cheap pretzel just to get a clean arc.
So it's a game changer for the awkward stuff. But you mentioned something about humanoid robots earlier. Are we talking full-on sci-fi, take me to your welder type stuff?
Pretty much. South Korean shipyards are already putting humanoid frames into production lines. These things are walking into spots that would melt the eyebrows off a human being. It's impressive, sure, but there's something about the soul of a weld that a motherboard just can't replicate. A robot doesn't know the sing of the metal when the heat is exactly right.
Maybe not, but a robot also doesn't complain about the coffee being cold or spend 45 minutes looking for a 10mm socket.
Fair point. I suppose if a robot can take the heat in a hazardous hull, God bless him. I'll keep my eyebrows and stay out here in the shavings.
Speaking of staying in the shop, maybe some people should be getting out of it. I saw the numbers for the HVAC industry. If you're looking for a career that's actually bulletproof right now, that seems to be the place.
It's a gold rush, just with more manifold gauges and less sourdough. Construction is growing while everything else is pulling back. Every building needs to breathe. And right now, the lungs of our infrastructure are getting a massive upgrade.
I saw that Train Technologies just opened this massive center, the ATTC. They're saying they can train 4,500 students a year. That's 100,000 hours of hands-on time. It's not just fixing the AC anymore, is it?
Not even close. If you're getting into it now, you're basically a high-end system surgeon. Everything is integrated. If you want the big paycheck, you can't just be the guy who knows how to charge a line. You've got to be the smart HVAC wizard. You need to understand how a heat pump talks to a smart home hub and why the airflow is fluctuating based on a sensor in the attic.
So, less wrench turner and more network engineer who isn't afraid of a ladder.
Exactly. It's where the high voltage meets the high tech. If I were 20 years younger and didn't have sawdust in my marrow, I'd be looking real hard at those certifications. It's one of the few places left where you have real leverage as a worker. You aren't just a body. You're the only person who can keep a 3-story office building from turning into a terrarium.
Okay, let's pivot. Not everyone wants to climb into a duct. Some people just want to sell cool stuff on the internet. I was looking at the Etsy North trends for the Canadian market this month.
Let me guess, macrame plant hangers are back?
Not quite. It's actually getting a lot more industrial. Sustainable home goods are huge. People want recycled wood, zero-waste kitchen tools. But the big winner is minimalist decor, raw steel and concrete.
You mean the stuff I've been leaving in the scrap bin for a decade is suddenly minimalist?
Precisely. Those little offcuts of square tubing, if you weld them into a clean geometric plant stand and spray it matte black, someone in Toronto will buy it before the paint is dry. And DIY kits are exploding. People don't just want to buy a finished item. They want to buy the experience of making it, without having to buy $500 worth of tools first.
That's a smart play. You're not selling a bowl. You're selling the Sunday afternoon someone spends carving it. It's about bottling that feeling we get when we finally finish something. And honestly, the concrete trend, I get it. There's something so honest about a material that starts as soup and ends up as a rock.
Which leads us perfectly into the big weekend project topic. Outdoor kitchens. Every YouTuber and their cousin is pouring concrete countertops right now. But is it actually worth the sweat, Tiger? Or should people just buy a prefab setup and enjoy their burger?
Don't tell the prefab companies I said this, but there is no comparison. A prefab unit is like wearing a suit off a rack. It's fine, it covers the basics. But custom, that's a tailored tuxedo for your backyard.
But the cost, Tiger. Concrete isn't exactly cheap once you factor in the forms, the reinforcement, the pigments, and the 3 gallons of sweat you lose while pouring it.
You're paying an effort to save on the check. A custom outdoor kitchen can easily run you double the price of a store-bought one if you hire it out. But if you do it yourself, you're trading your Saturday for a surface that will outlast your house.
I watched that start-to-finish build video you sent me. They make it look so easy. Just pour it in a box, flip it over, and boom, glass finish.
Yeah, and I make woodworking look like a walk in the park until you see the pile of learning opportunities under my bench. Here's the secret with concrete. The form is the soul of the project. If your mold has a hair in it, your countertop has a vein. You spend 80% of your time building that form. You sand it until it feels like silk. You seal every corner with a bead of silicone so perfect, it looks like it was grown there.
So you're saying if the mold is ugly, the kitchen is ugly.
Every single time. You can't fix a bad pour with a prayer. You have to respect the chemistry. But when you flip that slab over and peel back the melamine and you see that perfectly smooth cold surface, it's a better feeling than a cold beer on a July afternoon.
It sounds like a lot of pressure for a weekend project.
It's good pressure. It's the kind of project that reminds you why you have a shop in the first place. Whether you're building a kitchen or learning how to fix an industrial HVAC unit, it's all the same language. It's about taking a mess of raw parts and forcing them to become something useful.
Well, I think I'll stick to the minimalist plant stands for now. My geometrically challenged projects usually involve me trying to put together IKEA furniture without the instructions.
Hey, we all start somewhere. Just don't let the humanoid robots see you struggling with a hex key. They'll never let you live it down.
That's it for today's TigerDen Daily. We covered everything from robot coworkers to the concrete counters of your dreams.
Before you go, just remember, the tool in your hand is only as good as the patience in your head. Whether you're welding a pipe or pouring a slab, take the extra 10 minutes to do it right. Your future self will thank you for not leaving a mess they have to fix.
And if you want to see the diagrams we talked about or check out those Etsy keywords, head over to the blog. We'll see you in the shop tomorrow.
Keep your blades sharp and your mind open. Take care.